let's get into the show, guys. First topic we're going to be talking about is Utila, their new integration with the XDC network. This is another secure method to manage real world assets. I wanted to make sure that I hit on that precisely because when you look at the world of RWAs for the XDC network, it's increasing rapidly. I remember when we were just tracking what was that the USDY courtesy of Yield Tech that was also managed by BlackRock. We were only able to see that. Now, when you look at RWA.xyz and you search XDC network, you see a pretty decent gallery of RWA products. So, props to the XDC network, props to the builders on the network for putting this together. And if we dive deeper into this integration, we discover that it's going to unlock secure custody of XDC assets using Utila's non-custodial MPC-based wallet. They're going to implement role-based access and granular policy enforcement across users and teams. That sounds a lot like KYC, AML, so that's good. Automate treasury workflows, token operations, and transfers on XDC, and connect to the XDC network from Utila via a customizable EVM RPC for maximum control. So as you can tell by this, XDC network is going to be deeply embedded into this Utila software. And I took a few minutes to look at Utila. It's a fairly younger company, but they're already going in the right direction. And overall, what this is another RWA play for the XDC network. Before we take a look at Utila, I want to show you this here. This is a collection of the top 4 RWA players for the XDC network that are currently on the network right now. Comtech Gold is the longest standing RWA partner for the XDC network, as far as I'm concerned. They specialize in the tokenization of gold bullion. They have actual gold bars verified in physical vaults all over the world. They actually received the Shahara compliance certificate in 2022, if I'm not mistaken. So that gave them clearance in Dubai. They got backing from the multi commodities center out there. So Comtech Gold is not a game. And they have been utilizing the XDC network efficiently going on 5 years now, just about. And then we got Plug and Play. Plug and Play connects the XDC network to the emerging Web3 economy in India. There is an accelerator out there called T-Hub, which also sponsors XDC network innovation, developer, what do they call those? The boot camps. There's something that start hackathon. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. But they support a lot of those things. And through those hackathons, guys, you have to understand that's almost like when you take a product and you want to demo it to a group of people, think tanks, things like that. 9 times out of 10, if the product is hitting, that product will go to market. So what we really want to look for in a network, no matter which one you're following, is an effective mechanism for bringing in talent. That is what Plug and Play is for the XDC network, on top of their own technology that they're connecting to XDC. So that's a bonus. And then after that, you have Securitize, the OG, managing all types of institutional assets. As a matter of fact, they just made headlines a few days ago. They're launching another RWA product courtesy of BlackRock. I need to double check that. But in the case of Securitize and XDC, another major W there. And speaking of BlackRock, lastly, we have Yield Tech, which provided the USDY token that we were initially tracking. This goes back as far as 2023. So on top of that, you now know that the XDC network has been in the RWA game since the beginning. And as more people get interested in RWAs, they're going to see who was here first. Telling you guys, we are in a whole different era when it comes to this blockchain space. I'm telling you, all of those, the tribalistic energy, the conflict, it ain't gonna last no more. It's not, because what I'm also getting and seeing when I do my research is these companies, guys, they're not coming in looking to work with one asset. They're not. They're coming in looking for ways to make use of multiple chains. Because this is the easiest point to make, we will see a point in time where one business is making use of both the XRP ledger and Stellar's blockchain. Why? Because they'll have banking, corporate, high value clients, and they'll also have probably 600,000 to 700,000 retail customers that also makes use of their platform. And that is perfectly fine. I expect multiple businesses to take that same model. JP Morgan is another example with what they did with Chainlink and Ondo. This is a multi-chain world that we live in. And the sooner certain people realize that, the better we'll be. All right. So I looked into Utila for a little bit, guys. Young company, but they are headed in the right direction. Looking at some of their blogs, their documentation, empowering stablecoin adoption with Utila's modular infrastructure. XDC will also be brought into this. And while reading into the infrastructure, I found another partner that Utila has that we have talked a lot about recently. Let me show you. So when you look at their modular infrastructure documentation, you go down to global on and off ramp networks, you will discover that through integrations with on and off ramp partners like Bridge.xyz, Stripe Company, users can convert stablecoins to fiat and vice versa with a few clicks. For example, USDC balance can be off ramped to a linked bank account. Conversely, a fiat deposit can be on ramped to stablecoins in Utila. So when I read this, I immediately thought back to two stories that we have covered here on the channel this year. Number one being the moment I discovered the XDC's network official connection to USDC. The XDC network is a member of the Circle Alliance. The Circle Alliance members had first dibs on the new Circle payment network, which we will be talking about in a few moments. So there's that. Secondly, it also took me back to what we learned with Bridge, Stellar, and the Visa connection, or the Stripe connection. In Bridge's documentation, we see this on and off ramp architecture that they're describing. And we know that Bridge allows you to send regular fiat simply into a blockchain. That blockchain will then kick out your fiat into whatever other token that you want it to be. So if you got $100,000, you kick it into, for the sake of this conversation, the XDC network through Utila, and you want to get it to customers who are in Mexico, Brazil, and Canada. You now have a way to use the XDC network kind of as a middle layer and have it converted your initial 100K into these three different national currencies, and then do with what you please from there. This is where we're at with this technology, ladies and gentlemen. That's why I'm so fascinated. I would think we would want a multi-chain world, because traditional business will show us that competition makes champions. I can't wait for the competition phase to hit blockchain. We're in the community era, which is good. I think the community will always be around because it's such an important element to how these tokens accrue value. But we need to enter the competitive stage where we got not blockchains dueling each other, but blockchains essentially sharpening each other. You know, the iron sharpens iron concept. That's what I would like to see. But going further, guys, this is also another way, officially, that USDC is bridged to the XDC network, and it's thanks to our friends over at XSwap. XSwap has completed the integration of Circle's Bridge USDC standard on the XDC network. Bridge USDC enables seamless and secure transfers of USDC between XDC and USDC supported blockchains, including Ethereum and Arbitrum, at launch. So this means, thanks to XSwap, we now live in a world where you can transfer USDC from XDC to ETH, from XDC to ARB, from XDC to Habar, from XDC to Algo, to Xlum, to Xrp, all over the place. Well, not XRP, not yet, which is another point I could have brought up the other day, but I'm not. I think that day will come. Circle knows what they're doing. I wouldn't be surprised if that had something to do with the Ripple denial in the first place. Because if USDC picks up the XRP ledger, it's game over. Okay, game over. Like I said, I don't have a problem with the ledger. Not at all. It is just as quick as Stellar's. I got a problem with them crazies. But we live in a world now, thanks to XSwap, USDC, where XDC can now compete with the other champions of the stablecoin world as it stands today. Your Solanas, your Trons, your Stellars. XDC will soon be in that conversation. So that's good to see, guys. This is absolutely a W for sure for the XDC network.